there has been many refusals when it comes to cook or chef's employer sponsorship visa. I'll be talking about how to mitigate those risks and how to maximize your opportunity to get the visa success, even if you are a cook or a chef, even if that particular occupation is quite commonly used occupation in Australia for 482 and 186 visa application. Hi, my name is Nish from Professional Visa and Education Services, immigration lawyer and Mara agent since 2015. Today I'm going to talk about the immense amount of refusals a lot of people are receiving when it comes to the cook and chef occupation when they apply for 482 visa applications. Now, before, when things were running fine, the decision makers were looking at some of the evidence to ascertain this particular position is genuine or not. We don't have to do many things. But now, especially around this common occupation, which is cook and chef, I think the immigration lawyers and migration agent has to work a little bit harder, because we need to really demonstrate why this particular position is required in this organization and whether or not this particular position is just been facilitated to secure a positive visa outcome from the Department of Home Affairs. So really, this is your time as a migration agent or the lawyer or the applicant to be more careful and to be more savvy about presenting your evidentiary requirement to the Department of Home Affairs. I'm going to talk about the few examples here. Now, especially when it comes to organizational chart. If you're providing the org chart to the Department of Home Affairs, where it demonstrates the overall employee framework, where the head chef, your sous chef, your commis chef, your cook, and your kitchen steward, and everything like that, there might be a multiple people working in a similar kind of positions. So this can open a can of worms with the Department of Home Affairs why this particular occupation is necessary in this organization. So the first thing I'll recommend, which we never used to do it before, but now we have started incorporating in our application, is really segregating this particular position and explaining why this particular position is important for the organization and what does this particular position do in day-to-day life and what's the distinction between these two people working in the same capacity. There could be two cooks, there could be two chefs. Now, the Department of Home Affairs will be looking at it. Why do you need, similar kind of positions in this organization again? So this is your opportunity to discuss with your lawyer, with your agent, to talk about, okay, we have a similar kind of, people working in our organization. How do I differentiate myself to demonstrate that why am I required in this particular organization and why this particular position is genuine? So that's the first thing I'll be looking at it. Now, second thing is, it's also a key message to the employer is having those financial documents up to date and ready at the time of visa lodgements. Now, if the employer is far behind lodging their own batch statements or they haven't done the financial statements, now that's a prima facie judgment from the Department of Home Affairs to say that, okay, hang on a sec, if the business cannot even trade under the Corporation Act by making sure that the financial documents are up to date, now what kind of business practice this person is doing? There has been cases of restaurants and cafes who has over $9 million turnover, but still they have managed to refuse their application under cook and chef because of the financial statements. Because those financial statements were not up to date, and the Department of Home Affairs has a different view about the trade, how professional, how this particular organization is trading. So the financial component is very important. Now, lastly, if there is, especially with the market salary review, if there is an Australian worker working in your organizations, and if you're providing that as the evidence that, okay, I have a Australian citizen or a permanent resident working in a similar capacity, that this particular person might not have a same amount of salary. What do you do at that point? Well, you need to actually talk about, you need to demonstrate. Well, sometimes there might be a variance. Sometimes the person who's getting sponsored has to meet the TISMAT salary. So they're in a TISMAT salary, whereas this Australian citizen might be getting lesser amount of payment. But again, there might be a vast difference when it comes to the roles and responsibilities. Their roles and responsibilities doesn't incur maybe rostering or maybe ordering, maybe overall kitchen management. But whereas your particular occupations has that extra remit that you need to fulfill in your day-to-day life. So this is where the good lawyers and migration agent will come and demonstrate a quite distinctive roles and responsibilities with your similar role Australian citizen or permanent residency versus your role as a person working in the kitchen as a chef. Now, this is just an example, but again, this is the crucial time of the year where the Department of Home Affairs has scrutinized the application. They want to see more. So when I say more, you're talking through the evidence, you're talking through the piece of paper. So always explain things in a piece of paper, especially when it comes to organizational chart, explain there. Now, the other thing that a lot of people fall into trap is the Tismet salary. Many times I see the employee only offering exact Tismet salary. Now, this raises the alarm bell to the decision maker. Okay, why the actual salary is just matching with exactly what Department of Home Affairs is prescribing as a Tismet salary. Now, this is kind of going to create like, bit of a suspicion on the decision maker to say, okay, is this the activities being created by the employer just to facilitate a positive outcome, a positive visa outcome with the Department of Home Affairs? So again, I would usually suggest, do some market salary review and probably be well above the Tismet salary. That is something recommended usually. But again, if that's what your skill set is, right at the Tismet salary, I would suggest backed up by evidence. Find more job advertisement that is similar to your position, similar area. Don't go outside of different states and territory. Probably whatever the states and territory you're applying for, or maybe even the local market around you, finding the similar position, similar market salary people is very important for you to produce those evidentiary requirements. Now, these are the key points that everyone who is applying as a cook and chef need to be aware about it to secure a positive outcome from nomination so that you can get a positive outcome for your visa application. Now, I think this will hopefully clarify some of the reasons why the Department of Home Affairs are refusing the nomination of a cook and chef and how you can mitigate those risks. Now, my name is Nish. Again, I'll be back again with more updates, videos, and news updates in the social media. But keep sharing and keep watching with your friends and family. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.